This November, when the chips are down, America needs a leader it can turn to. His name is Dan Campbell. He has revived not one, but 2 franchises.
Welcome to Applebee's.
He is a man of culture.
I love the experience of a theater now. Go in and get some popcorn, get you a Coke, sit down, recline the seat.
He has a plan to bring America back.
But I got a plan, I swear to you. I just need you to trust me. That's all.
For Detroit, for America, for you. On November 5th, there is one man who will lead America into the future. Vote Dan Campbell for president.
I'm Dan Campbell, and I approve this message.
So it's time for our first big division matchup of the season, heading up to Minnesota to face the Vikings this week. So, of course, this is the first division game of the season for the Lions. We all know these division games, this is the season right here, because a third of the schedule consists of these games. So let's take a look at this game and see how the Lions stack up and head into Minnesota. So, of course, for this game, Minnesota actually enters as the favorite for this game by 2.5 points. So, Detroit enters effectively as 3-point underdogs. Minnesota, they lead the all-time series over Detroit 80-43-2. However, Detroit has won the last 3 meetings against the Vikings. In fact, the Vikings haven't beaten the Lions ever since the Lions flat out gave them T.J. Hawkinson a couple years ago. Detroit this year, they're 2-0 on the road this year. Minnesota 3-0 at home. So, yeah. And then for the key players on the Vikings, on offense, this was originally going to be J.J. McCarthy's team. But J.J. tore his meniscus in preseason, and he's out for the year. So now this is Sam Darnold's team for the foreseeable future. Unless Darnold does something really special with the Vikings this year, and then Kevin O'Connell will be forced to play the hot hand or not. So far, though, not looking good for J.J. McCarthy, since this was supposed to be his team. And, yeah, he got injured. So, yeah, slowly starting to trend like a bust in that direction. So, anyway, for the running backs, Aaron Jones, he's questionable for this game with a hip injury. But the Vikings have already responded to it by acquiring Cam Akers from the Texans the other day. Well, somebody's afraid of Lions when you have to go get another running back, since the majority of running backs have the shelf life of milk. And now to the receiving core. The receiving core is anchored by Justin Jefferson, one of the best receivers in the game. Easily the best player probably in the division. Then you got Jordan Addison as well and Brandon Powell. And now T.J. Hawkinson, he's still on the PUP list with that ACL-MCL injury he suffered at last year in the game against Detroit. And yes, folks, Viking fans are still salty about that. And still crying about Kirby Joseph, claiming he's a dirty son of a bitch. Which, by the way, Viking fans, Kirby Joseph still did nothing wrong. It was a clean hit. He was just doing his fucking job. Maybe next time Hawkinson should have just ran his ass over or hurdle him. Or maybe, just maybe, Nick Mullins shouldn't have put Hawkinson in that position to begin with. But you'll probably disagree because I bet common sense doesn't exist in the Vikings, in the Skull Nation, when emotions can take control. Plus, it's been almost 9 fucking months. Grow the fuck up and get over yourselves. And by the way, Viking fans, defending a player is not celebrating an injury. No one in the Lions fan base was celebrating Hawkinson's injury last year. So quit trying to make shit up and get over yourselves. But there is a chance, though, that Hawkinson could be cleared for this game in time. We'll have to see, though, because they haven't opened the practice window just yet. But we'll have to see what happens by Sunday. Now on defense, the defensive line's anchored by the likes of Jonathan Bullard, Harrison Phillips, and Jerry Tillery. Linebacking core has the likes of Blake Cashman, Jonathan Greenard, Ivan Pace, and of course the rookie Dallas Turner. And also you got Andrew Van Ginkel in there as well. And in the secondary has the names of Cameron Byram, Stephon Gilmore, Shaquille Griffin, Byron Murphy, and Harrison Smith. The head coach of this squad is Kevin O'Connell, who enters this game with a 1-3 record against the Lions. He also got offensive coordinator Wes Phillips in there, and a defensive coordinator, of course, of Brian Flores. So the Vikings offense coming in this game, it's the 18th ranked offense in the league, 19th in the passing game, 20th in the rushing offense. And the Vikings defense is middle of the road, 17th overall, 17th ranked defense. 30th against the pass, but oddly enough, this defense is the second best defense against the run. So running against this defense is going to be tough. But they're not very good at covering the pass either. So I think the big key is you got to find, of course, a way to try and run that ball. But I think passing game might be the one that takes over here. You know, got to take advantage of anybody that gets wide open, like if Amon-Ra gets us open or J-Mo gets open. And I should mention one more thing, Viking fans. Dan Campbell has a 4-2 record against the Vikings. So, yeah, then defensively, well, defense has got someone on the defense has to step up with touch out for the season. So, someone on that defense stepped up. I know Lee McNeil, he just got paid yesterday. He got paid the other day. That's not going to be enough, though. And especially, again, Isaiah Thomas off the Bengals practice squad. That's not going to be enough. I think the Lions are going to make a move, but they still got time. You know, there's like 3 weeks left until the trade deadline. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But, you know, someone on defense got to step up. The secondary, they got to find a way to shut down Jefferson and Addison. That's going to be the big task at hand. And also got to get pressure to Sam Darnold. Like I know a lot of people want to pull the injury, saying the Lions season's done because Hawkinson went down. No, it's not done yet. Injuries are part of the game. Everybody has to go through it. It sucks, but everybody has to go through it at some point. This week, it's next man step up or step aside. But this is a very crucial game, must-win game, because the winner of this game gets first place in the NFC North. Because Detroit moves up to the first of the NFC North with a win, because Detroit would have tiebreaker over Minnesota. Plus, Minnesota's one of 2 last undefeated teams left in the league with the Chiefs. And plus, Minnesota might start feeling that pressure at 5-0, trying to make sure that the Lions aren't the one that hands them that first loss of the season. So, will that pressure get to Minnesota? We'll find out Sunday. Yeah, and of course, Kirby Joseph going to have to do his thing, but let's be honest, though. Anything that Kirby Joseph does on Sunday that's good, he's going to get booed by the fan base. Honestly, it'd be funny as hell if Kirby Joseph picked Sam Darnold off and then did the skull chant in the Vikings house. I mean, if he did that, then he'll give the Viking fan base a real reason to fucking cry. Because it's very obvious the Viking Lions still live rent-free in the Vikings' head after last year. Plus, they're all talking about how great the Flores defense is. Please. Lions put up 30 points in both games against the Brian Flores defense. Enough with that. And Viking fans trying to talk so much shit about, oh, how the Lions haven't beaten anybody with a winning record. Bitch, please. We played the Rams when they were effectively healthy. We played the Cardinals when they had one of the #1 scoring offenses in the league at the time. We beat the Seahawks when they were undefeated. And we beat the Cowboys in Jerry World, where the Cowboys have been pretty good at. And the Cowboys had a winning record when we beat them. And plus, here's one reason why I have the Lions winning. Dan Campbell has a 4-2 record against teams at least 5 games above 500. And oh yeah, what's Minnesota's record? 1, 2, 3, 4... 5-0, that's 5 games above 500. And oh, by the way, of those 4 wins, one of those wins came against the Vikings 2 years ago, which was the first game since the Lions traded Hawkinson to the Vikings. So yeah, this is going to be a good game for sure. You know, going to be a tough battle for sure. I think the Lions come in the U.S. Bank Stadium and they come out on top. Not going to be an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. It's going to be close. I could see this possibly being a low-scoring game. Like, it could be a low-scoring game, could be a high-scoring game. I don't think there's really any in between. You know, part of this also depends on if anyone on the defense can step up after Hutchinson went down last week, which is very unfortunate. And also, I saw a lot of posts where Viking fans were celebrating Hutchinson's injury. Maybe a lot of them saying that it should have been Kirby Joseph or Jared Goff that fractured their tibia. All I say to Viking fans is keep talking. Karma will strike you when it you least expect it. And when it does, it will be a true bitch. But yeah, honestly, and the fact that they wanted Kirby injured, yeah, that just shows how much Kirby Joseph still lives rent-free in their head. And Kirby Joseph still did nothing wrong. Keep crying about it. Plus, Kirby never got penalized on that play, and he never got suspended or fined. So yeah. So yeah, if you got a problem with it, go cry to Roger Goodell, you fucking babies. And to be honest, like, the Vikings fan base, I respected pretty much up until that point. Then they turned into a bunch of fucking crybabies. Like, you ain't no purple people eaters. You're just the purple pussy crybaby jabroni bastards at this point. But yeah, I got the Lions winning. I think it's going to be a close, low-scoring game. I got the Lions 22-18. It's going to be a very close game. You know, it's going to come down to which defense can come in clutch. But I think the Lions, they always do well against teams 5 games above 500. And I think the Viking fans, all I say to Viking fans is keep underestimating the Lions. Plus, the Lions always do better when they're an underdog. So I say it's bet against the Lions, because at the end of the day, anybody that doubts the Lions doesn't fucking know us. And this Sunday, the Lions will prove why the division runs through them. Like, it don't run through you, Minnesota. It doesn't run through Green Bay. And it sure as hell doesn't run through your toilet. That's for fucking sure. And this Sunday, the Lions will take their rightful place in the division. And that rightful place will be right ahead of yous. And putting you in your place and handing you your first L of the season. So I say to Viking fans is keep underestimating the Lions. Keep talking your shit. Because it will be much more satisfying when the Lions come into your house and beat the living bricks off you. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe the Lions beat you as bad as they beat the Cowboys, but I highly doubt it. Because you are not the Dallas Cowboys. And let's be honest, you all talking about how you're going so great at 5-0. Let me just show some history real quick. Since you want to pull up Lions history so much, let me pull up your history. 2 of the last 3 times you started 5-0, you didn't even make the playoffs that year. Whatever history you can pull, I can pull better. But yeah, let's go get this W. And let's go humble these Viking fans Sunday. And let's see, and maybe Kirby Joseph will give the Vikings fan base a real reason to cry wolf. I'm out. Go Lions. Fuck the Vikings.